So welcome to the fourth video in this series where we're assembling an MSI 8080 MPU-A CPU card. In this video, we're going to go ahead and stuff all the ICs in the sockets, and we'll wrap the build project up. So let's dive in. So I've applied power to the board and checked the 3 voltage rails according to the instructions here at the 40-pin socket, and all 3 of the voltages are good. So the next step here is to get the sockets, or the chips installed into the sockets. I will put a link to this in the video description. It's from Jameco here in the US. It's a lead straightening tool. Machine pin sockets can be really painful to get parts installed into. And what this lets you do is set the width really between the pins to get them straightened up at least side to side. New old stock parts and new parts in general, the leads are flared out. It can be very difficult to get everything to line up. And I'll say it's especially hard with machine pin sockets. All of these have already been pre-flexed or preset using the tool, so they should hopefully just all pop down in. I've set the appropriate parts on the diagram here at the position they're used. I set that one upside down, it looks like. I want to make sure that I'm getting pin 1 in the proper orientation, which is down. So as it says here, all pin 1s are down, and so the notch or indicator for pin 1 in the part should be facing down for these. And it is. The 8080 can be a little tricky with this many pins. I can feel that it's not engaging well in the socket. There it went. On the back side of this tool is a 600 mil straightener. So it deals with both 300 and 600. And like I said, I have straightened all these pins to hopefully make this video go short. Here's one here that's being kind of difficult to get lined up. All it takes is one pin not wanting to cooperate, and there it went down in. The 8212 in your package may be an Intel 8212, it might be an AMD. There's various manufacturers. It'll have, of course, 8212 in the part number. It might be M5L 8212, P8212I, 8212, D8212. There's just a number of them. To mention this socket over here, that's the 8224. That's the clock generator for the 8080 CPU. They're not super rare yet, but they're getting hard to find. Your package might be ceramic, it might be plastic, it might be an AMD part, might be an Intel part. You just really don't know. It just depends on stock that we're able to find. So this is one of the 8T97s. It is a bus driver. So it takes the signals off the board and drives the S100 bus for the rest of the system to be able to see them. Some people say you can substitute an 74367 for these. Pinout-wise, you can. But the 1897s have higher drive capacity. They can deal with more current. So they're meant for, a very large fan out, an S100 card cage that might be absolutely stuffed. There's an LSO4 I just put in right here. Another 1897. Another 1897. And another 1897. So one of the advantages of checking the power rails, as I did with all the components out, is if the 5-volt regulator wasn't working and was passing the full 7.5 or 8 volts that come into it out onto the bus, there's a good likelihood you would damage one or more of these ICs in the socket. So testing the rails with nothing on the sockets is advised. The 8212s here, there's 2 of them, or 8216s I mean. There's 2 of them, are again parts that have gotten very difficult to find. The 8T97s are also difficult to find, especially ones where we trust the quality of the parts that the vendor has and that have gotten through my certification testing to allow them to be an approved vendor. That one doesn't feel right. I'll come back to it. One more 1897 over here. Let's just hit the leads one more time. Yeah, if it doesn't feel right, don't force it. You will bend a pin up underneath. Say machine pin sockets are the, there it went, most difficult to deal with from an alignment. But there it is. The board is stuffed. It should be ready for operation. The board does require the CPA panel to come up and be controllable and to work. Like I said in an earlier video, the CPA panel has a ribbon cable that comes off the back of that board over the top of the system and connects here. That cable's got to be a good cable and working for all of this to work correctly as well. So there it is. This is an assembled MPU-A replica board from the design, the board from my new old stock kit that was manufactured in 75, 76. Your board will look slightly different. I commented on that in the first video. So this is still an engineering board, although it's very close to the final board. Appreciate your watching the video. Give me a like if you think it's worth it. If you're not a subscriber, subscription is always helpful. There will be a video series coming up on how to test all the hardware we're going to be assembling here. Testing the IMSAI hardware is an interesting chicken and the egg problem, since so many boards are dependent on each other for the thing to even try to operate. But like I said, that'll be in a different series. So anyhow, if you got this far, I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.